What if death wasn't the end? What if the finality of life could be postponed, giving us a second chance at existence? What if it was just a really long nap, a pause button on the inevitable, allowing us to wake up refreshed and ready to continue our journey? A chance to hit the snooze button on oblivion, to delay the end and perhaps even cheat it altogether. That's the tantalizing proposition offered by cryonics, the practice of freezing human bodies at ultra-low temperatures with the hope of reviving them in the future. It's a concept that straddles the line between science fiction and scientific possibility. It's a long shot, to be sure. The odds are daunting and the science is still in its infancy. Imagine betting on a horse race centuries after the horses have crossed the finish line. The uncertainty is immense, and the stakes are high. That's cryonics in a nutshell. A gamble on the future, a wager on the advancement of technology and medicine. But for some, the allure of immortality, or at least a rain check on death, is too strong to resist. They see it as a beacon of hope, a way to transcend the limitations of our mortal coil. They dream of a future where medical technology can cure what ails them, be it cancer, heart disease, or any other affliction that plagues humanity today, or even the persistent inability to parallel park. They envision a world where such trivial frustrations are a thing of the past. They imagine waking up in a world free of disease and Donald Trump tweets, a utopia where the problems of today are mere memories, where flying cars clog the skies, zipping around in a dance of technological marvels, and robot butlers serve cocktails catering to our every whim with mechanical precision. It's a seductive vision, but one fraught with uncertainty and ethical quandaries. The future is an unknown territory, filled with both promise and peril. What if the future isn't all it's cracked up to be? What if the advancements we hope for never materialize, leaving us in a world we no longer recognize? What if you wake up to a world ruled by cockroaches, where humanity's dominance has been usurped by the most resilient of creatures? Or worse, reality TV stars. A dystopia where the trivial has become paramount and the profound is lost in the noise. These are just some of the questions we'll explore as we delve into the chilling world of cryonics. Join us as we navigate the icy waters of this controversial and fascinating field. Now let's talk turkey, or rather, frozen turkey. Imagine pulling a turkey out of the freezer after a year. It's not going to be the same, right? The texture, the taste, everything changes. You can't just chuck a body in a meat locker and expect it to wake up chipper in 100 years. The cells would be damaged beyond repair, and the body would be more like a popsicle than a person. Cryonics relies on a process called vitrification, which is essentially turning your insides into a fancy, human-flavored ice cream. This isn't your average freezing process. It's much more sophisticated. Instead of forming jagged ice crystals that can shred cells like a blender on high vitrified fluids, transform into a glass-like state, preserving the delicate cellular machinery of life, or at least what's left of it. This glass-like state is crucial for maintaining the integrity of the cells. It's like hitting the pause button on decay, but instead of a remote, you're using liquid nitrogen and a whole lot of hope. Liquid nitrogen cools the body to extremely low temperatures, halting all biological processes. Think of it this way. Regular freezing is like smashing a plate into a million pieces. The structure is lost, and it's nearly impossible to put it back together. Vitrification, on the other hand, is like encasing that plate in amber, preserving its shape and structure. The cells remain intact, and the body's overall form is maintained. It's a delicate process requiring precise timing and a cocktail of cryoprotective agents that would make a bartender blush. These agents are carefully formulated to protect the cells during the freezing process. These agents, pumped into the body after death, replace blood and other fluids, preventing the formation of those nasty ice crystals. This replacement is essential for ensuring that the cells don't get damaged during the cooling process. So, who are these intrepid souls lining up for a one-way ticket to the future? As of today, around 500 individuals have taken the plunge and opted for cryopreservation. Their bodies, or at least their heads, tucked away in stainless steel douars, patiently awaiting the defrost cycle of destiny. And it's not just humans. Dozens of pets have also joined the frozen fray, their owners hoping for a heartwarming reunion in the great beyond. Imagine Fluffy the poodle, tail wagging furiously, reunited with her beloved owner in a world where kibble is obsolete and belly rubs are administered by robot arms. But the real surprise? Thousands more are on waiting lists, their names etched in the annals of cryonic history, ready to join the ranks of the frozen elite. These are the true believers, the ones who see cryonics not as a gamble, but as an investment, a down payment on a future that may or may not arrive. Now before you go raiding your 401k for a shot at immortality, let's talk price tag. Cryonics isn't cheap. Think luxury car, not used hatchback. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to preserve your entire body, a bargain compared to the cost of living in some cities these days. But hey, at least you won't need a mortgage in the cryonics facility, or a wardrobe, or a therapist to deal with the existential dread of being a disembodied head floating in a vat of liquid nitrogen. For the budget-conscious, there's always the neuro option, preserving just your head, with the hope that future scientists can either attach it to a new body, think bionic swimsuit model, or upload your consciousness into a computer simulation, think Second Life but with less lag. The current state of cryonics is a fascinating blend of science and science fiction. Okay, let's address the elephant in the cryonics chamber, the science, or rather, the lack thereof. Cryonics as it stands is still very much in the experimental phase, teetering on the edge of possibility and fantasy. It's like a beta version of immortality, with more bugs than a cockroach motel. The concept is intriguing, but the execution is far from perfect. While vitrification shows promise in preserving biological tissue, the process of reviving a cryopreserved human being is a whole other ballgame, one that current technology can't handle. It's like trying to bake a cake with flour, sugar, and a prayer, hoping it turns out just right. Skeptics, those buzzkills of the scientific world, argue that we don't even fully understand how memories are stored, let alone how to revive a brain that's been frozen stiffer than a popsicle. They point out the irreversible damage caused by ice crystal formation, the unknown effects of cryoprotectants, and the sheer audacity of assuming we can cheat death. To be fair, they have a point. The challenges are immense, and the risks are high, but hey, someone has to be the first to try, right? Even if it means becoming a cautionary tale in the annals of scientific hubris. The dream of cryonics is to one day wake up in a future where technology has advanced enough to revive and heal us. It's a gamble, a leap of faith into the unknown, driven by the hope that science will catch up with our ambitions. Until then, cryonics remains a tantalizing possibility, a bridge between life and death that we are still learning how to cross. The journey is fraught with challenges, but the potential rewards are beyond imagination. So, is cryonics science, or sci-fi? Perhaps it's a bit of both, a testament to human curiosity and our relentless pursuit of the impossible. Only time will tell if we can turn this frozen dream into a reality. Until then, we continue to push the boundaries, one frosty step at a time. Waking up in a world gone mad, the ethics of cryonics. Cryonics isn't just about science, it's about ethics, philosophy, and the very definition of life and death. What happens to your identity when you're frozen, a disembodied consciousness trapped in a frozen wasteland? What if you wake up to a world where your values are obsolete, your skills irrelevant, and your wardrobe hopelessly out of date? And what about consent? Can you truly consent to a procedure that will take place decades, even centuries after your death? It's like signing a contract without reading the fine print, except the fine print involves your very existence. These are just some of the ethical dilemmas posed by cryonics, questions that have no easy answers. It's a philosophical minefield, a moral maze with no clear exit. Robot overlords and uploaded minds, the future of cryonics. But let's not dwell on the doom and gloom. Cryonics, despite its current limitations, offers a tantalizing glimpse into the future. Imagine a world where death is no longer a full stop, but a comma, a pause in the grand symphony of life. Advancements in AI, genetics, and nanotechnology could one day make revival a reality. We might even be able to upload our consciousnesses into robot bodies, shedding our mortal coils like snakeskin. Imagine the possibilities. No more wrinkles, no more bad hair days, just pure, unadulterated consciousness. Free to explore the cosmos in a body that makes C-3PO look like a rusty tin can. It's a future straight out of science fiction, but hey, so were smartphones and the internet once upon a time. And who knows, maybe one day cryonics will be as commonplace as a flu shot, Just another item on our to-do list before we shuffle off this mortal coil or get frozen in it, and Alcor and the Cryonics Institute, the gatekeepers of frozen hope. In the meantime, the torch of cryonics is carried by organizations like Alcor and the Cryonics Institute, the self-proclaimed guardians of frozen hope. These are the folks who handle the logistics of immortality, the ones who make sure your body is prepped, primed, and frozen to perfection. They're like the funeral directors of the future, except instead of burying you 6 feet under, they're tucking you away in a stainless steel cocoon, surrounded by enough liquid nitrogen to make a snowman blush. These organizations are constantly researching, refining, and improving their techniques, driven by the belief that one day, they'll be able to reverse death's cold embrace and bring their patients back to the land of the living. Whether they succeed or not remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, they're not giving up without a fight. The big chill to freeze or not to freeze. So, there you have it, the good, the bad, and the cryogenically frozen. Cryonics is a gamble. A roll of the dice in the grand casino of life. It's a long shot to be sure, but for some, it's the only shot they've got. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, one thing's for sure. Cryonics forces us to confront our own mortality, to ask ourselves the big questions about life, death, and the possibility of a second act. So what's it going to be? Are you ready to take the plunge into the frozen unknown, or are you content to decompose like the rest of us? The choice, for now, is yours. But choose wisely. Because in the game of cryonics you only get one chance to play, and the house always wins eventually.